This is a Concord Municipal Affordable Housing Trust. It's Tuesday, December 6, 2022. It is 6:03 p.m. and our first order of business will be a call to order by roll call. Linda Escobedo.
Present.
Mike Lawson.
Present.
Rich Feely, not currently here, but he was, we saw his shadow before, so maybe he'll come back. Carrie LaFleur.
Present.
And Keith Bergman present. All right. And we also have with us Regional Housing Service Office Director Liz Rust, and welcome. We're going to have a hard stop of 7 p.m. for the meeting. Liz has a hard stop of 6:30, so we're going to we will be mindful of her time with us during this this first half hour. And I know that other folks on the call have other meetings to go to tonight. Next order of business is approval of minutes. I sent out really a long time ago, several weeks ago, a draft of our last meeting minutes of November 16th. Had actually made some amendments from comments that Rich had submitted some time ago and sent those out. So and they were in the packet for that went out just again last week. I wonder if there's a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Mike. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Linda. Is there discussion on that? All right, so let's so on the motion to approve, let's take a roll call vote. Linda.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Terry.
Aye.
And Keith, aye. So that is approved by 4-0. Thanks very much. Next item and is housing production plan update. And we can begin by reporting that the after many months really of work, there are we're approaching dates of final adoption of the planning board by the planning board on December 13th and by the select board on December 19th. For this meeting and for the select board's meeting, a revised draft document dated December 2nd was circulated. It was reviewed by the select board last night and by the Housing Production Plan Steering Committee yesterday. And my kudos to the update team for all the work that they've done on this, and including last night's briefing for the select board, which is, as a viewer, it appeared to go well. So I hope that's the case. Liz had let us know that a final report will be issued this Friday, December 9th. The steering committee will meet again on December 12th at 2 p.m. That's next Monday, to vote on its recommendation so that the planning board and then the select board have it before they meet. One of the things that we're gonna go through some points in the plan, but just we can be thinking of we have the option either of taking a vote tonight to, let's say, approve the plan as you know, as it may be amended or something, or to meet again, and if so, perhaps Monday, December 12th at 2 p.m. for what I hope would be a quick vote, a pro forma vote when the steering committee meets. Might be an opportunity of how we can do it. But in the meantime, that Liz had sent us some guidance of things that she wants to cover, and in particular, it's in the since implementation of the plan, coordination is important. Has been an important issue the select board has raised, that Liz wanted to make sure that we were aware of, keenly aware of which of the strategies would be assigned to the trust as the lead entity. And we can go through those. We sent an email to that effect went out earlier today, but I think, Liz, that might be a good place to start our discussion, or do you have anything else that you want to be sure to?
No, and it's not so much, yes, I mean, the strategy, it's nothing new, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? So it's been in the, the plan that you've reviewed, like however many times you've reviewed that.
Right.
But I don't go to all your meetings, but I just wanted to confirm, that the strategies, well, many of the strategies start with CMA, whatever you are,
CMAHT.
Right, so
Just
that you're,
that, yeah.
like, the plan's a big plan, but also here's some very specific things that you are really signing up for these leadership pieces, or that you're okay with the plan when they have those in there. I just wanted to, give you this.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent point to raise, because as I started looking through specifically what was to be assigned to us, I thought, well, that's good to have. That's good, and if it's in the plan, then perhaps, there'll be a common understanding that if we're taking a leadership role on a particular strategy, it's because we've been assigned to do that, but in coordination with, other entities. So I think that's
So
very helpful.
it might be something that you've already covered, and no sense, you don't need to, specifically go through that in
I don't
detail,
think-
but this would be the time if you wanted to make some changes.
And I don't think that we've specifically mentioned it before. So I thought what I might do is screen share. Now it's a matter of, can I find where? No, of course I can't find the document to share, but does everyone have handy housing production plan draft, or would you like us to put it up on the screen? I can.
I have the material that was sent out to us.
Yeah, I think I found a
Redline
way.
version and the clean version.
Okay, right. Found a way to share it. Okay, here we go. Am I sharing a screen yet, or no?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we should be looking at the this document, right, Liz? That the implementation.
I think that you could even, it doesn't have to be that one. It could be I was thinking that you would be looking at really just on page 14.
Let's do page 14. All right. 11, 12, 11. Okay, there we go.
Yep. So starting with 3 and 4. There's the housing strategies right there. There you are.
Okay. So housing strategies 3 and 4, that the trust pursues acquisition of for creation of affordable housing. The properties that are listed, there were any of those properties, were there any edits to add ones? I know. Oops, sorry.
I hope it's just a minor comment, but with respect to 3 that you're talking about there, the way it reads is the trust will pursue the acquisition, and then cites 2229 Main Street as an example of what we might acquire. I mean, that will be acquired by the town. So I don't think the trust would actually attempt to acquire that property. Am I reading it wrong, or?
It is what it says there, right? So so this is where we're trying to tweak all the final words, like if it's not, if that's not how we should say that. So I think that
I mean, my read of
there's
that would
really
be,
there's the property,
right,
which would be probably a mixed use, to use that language. but advocating for the portion of the property for housing and what kind of housing would go on that portion, I think is what's implied here.
Yeah.
So I think it's maybe purchasing like the restriction, you could think of it that way for the housing portion or something.
What if you,
Um,
what if you
what if-
simply deleted the acquisition of, so that, or so it read CMAHT pursues other land for the creation of affordable housing, such as.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that would be good because my read first on pursues, it could be our pursuit could be we pursue a seller and a buyer.
Yeah.
That it might not, we might not be, and I hope we are not the first entity that acquires property, but we would certainly be the a funding source for if we could be a matchmaker.
So what did
sometimes.
what did you call it again? Would you say? Just
Well, if we say, I think it would be, I would accept Mike's edit, which was to just strike the acquisition of, pursues other land for creation.
Gotcha. Okay.
Since in numbers 1 and 2 talk about specific sites owned by the CHDC, and then number 3 begins to talk about other land.
Yep.
While we were on there last night, somebody suggested that it should read "and the Peabody Middle School" instead of "or." But-
Yes, we've made that change.
Okay.
That's great. And we're just a lead coordinator. We're not acting alone. That something like this, we would be. I would expect that we would be in close communication with the select board and other housing entities as we play a lead role here and moving forward. I think this gives us license to go after, to go and pursue matters, and I think that's great. Number 4, negotiates increased affordable units in private developments. And creates SHI units using buy downs. That's great.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we have to specifically say in partnership with the planning board, because they're the ones who usually are aware, or the planning department, because they're the ones who are usually aware of this first.
Well, I guess that's why I went first to the grid, because there it lists not only us, but the
So
other.
it has that, but it doesn't have the full
people.
text of the strategy. So that's the difference of the grid.
Yeah.
But I think that's implied, Linda, and I think it's probably in the action plan that the planning board is there. But if it isn't, we can make that be. We can make that happen right here and now. Nope, it doesn't, but I can make that happen
we'll go,
right as we speak.
Let me scroll down to what was that page that the page that the implementation plan is on.
It's like 60 something.
Okay, here it is. Yeah. So, yeah, this is the quality of information we want to have. Who are the our partners, and if we're the lead, say we're now talking about number 4.
Yep, I added planning board.
Okay. Great. Yeah, it says right now it says select board, CPC, and town staff. So we'll add planning.
No, I
board.
just
That's
added
great.
it. Right. Yep.
Very good. Thank you.
And the
So
one on the grid, the one prior to that. Let's look at that again.
yeah, we're the lead with CH.
But the wording up here pursues the acquisition of.
Yeah, that's changed.
Right,
Pursuit
that I'm
other
looking at
land.
now,
So
number 3.
I've changed it. There's 3 places that I changed
Okay,
for
good.
that change.
Yeah, CHDC, select board, and CPC are the support for goal 3.
Mhm.
And in fact, Let's just.
Again, I'm wondering if the planning department needs to be there because they're gonna.
Yeah, and I mean, we might as well go back looking at if we have any other. Well, just so we know, we are support for on this page 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Right.
There's always town staff and there's always other people involved. You don't, it's hard to list them all, and every project's a little bit different. Many projects have to go to the planning board for their zoning or the ZBA, so that's kind of implied on some of these things also, Linda, right?
Probably.
Okay. Rich has emailed me that he's having difficulty getting into the Zoom call, so hopefully.
Okay, so there were 4 other ones, 17, 21, 22, and 24. And I do have that hard stop at 6:30, and then I have to get the document off as final. So this is really like, you get 10 more minutes for your comment to make it in.
Okay, so we are at number 17.
Yeah.
Select board support us continuing.
So I think that's all fine. You have no problem with
funding.
that.
We're the lead, select board CPC.
Yeah.
Yep. Continue. Let's see, then is 21.
Yep.
Continue partnership in the participating in LOHA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy for us to be assigned the lead on that. If that's fine with the select board. So.
Well, no, I mean, we didn't really go through this level of detail, but I mean, we told everyone to look at the action plan. I mean, I don't know. But then we have the catch-all 22. Now, this has been slightly reworded from that, but let me just tell you what the new wording is. Just slightly.
Yep.
It's just, okay. It just doesn't, let me just go back up here. This is a better place to look at it. Sorry, coming right there. Continue integrated housing collaboration with the select board, planning board, CHDC, CMHD, CHA, CHF, and the Community Preservation Committee through the Concord Housing Roundtable and other forums, clarifying and tracking the status and responsibilities for the housing production plan implementation.
Is planning board included in that?
Planning board is included in that.
Okay, great.
So,
Great.
okay.
And then last is 24. Foster outreach and education.
Yeah.
This is no other volunteers, huh?
Well, I don't know. So I don't know how you ended up with it, but you did. And I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah,
I think it was this one that made me think like, oh, were they really signing up for this?
Yeah,
This
I don't
like
remember signing up to do the outreach and education,
you know,
although
right. But that's what the comments are all about, right? Like,
yeah.
So I don't really know.
Yeah, through a positive public relations campaign. I don't know that we're qualified to do that, but I don't know. I don't know who the group is that would of
The roundtable?
No, it needs to be a more accountable group. I mean, the roundtable is just a collaboration of folks, right? But someone is really to lead with all these people, right? Look at all the support, right? It's a collaborative effort, but there needs to be. It needs a little bit more than that.
So for this item for public relations, are we talking about like print material and information on the website, or is this all?
Well, go a couple of pages up, like 53. Oh, no, down, like right before the action plan. No, right before, next page. Okay, a little bit up, like right there.
Oh, right. Okay, I did.
So a
see it.
regional example, this is the Lower Cape, this is what they did, they did some training, and then they've had residents, and then they had this media campaign, with these posters and, like that.
So I suppose it could be the trust hiring some marketing support specifically for
Yep.
this campaign.
Yeah, I think that would be it. And just, directing them and what is, what's needed in terms of education and support. I mean, it's that leadership thing. I don't think you don't actually have to, design the posters and do the graphic designing,
Yeah,
Right.
and we have some staff that can help with that stuff too. I
Yeah.
just didn't know, like the staff could actually do things that they were more or less directed to do, but to sort of design a campaign.
Yep, so scroll up a little bit and you can see other things. These are some examples right here. You can see this is like the text of the goal, right?
Yeah, right.
Information brochures, this, public forums, general tabling at community events,
Yeah. I can see us being, a potential funding source or something for this activity. It's
it's the management and sponsoring. It's not the funding so much. I think there's a bunch of places that funding can.
I don't think we can sign up to manage anything. So to manage events, and I think that's staff function. I don't mind having an advisory board from the various housing groups working with staff. I think that's a better model, because it's not just us, it's, housing authority, really all of the pantheon of housing groups. Maybe set up a coordinating committee to work with staff on that. I think that would be reasonable.
I don't know that staff would probably take this on in terms of leading it.
Well, they will if the plan says that we have the authority to assign it to them through the town manager.
So
Otherwise, I mean, if it's assigned to us, we're not going to do it. Is somebody volunteer on this call volunteering this? I'm not.
Yeah, I'm back to the likelihood is that if it's going to happen, it probably we would need some specific marketing, consulting or whatever. And then they could outline tasks and so forth that could be implemented by various committees or staff.
I think that's all that. I mean, there's a lot of support, but someone is leading the charge, looking at the tasks, assigning them out. Like, I don't know, hosting public forums, just like the DEI, whoever that group was. It wasn't even the DEI folks. They did that, that speaker series. Like, how about something like that for affordable housing?
Yeah.
The League of Women Voters.
Yeah, League of Women Voters,
Yeah.
right. So
it's interesting, we're finding with the DEI commission, though, they're looking for more staff support because to actually do things.
Yeah.
Would it be perhaps more appropriate if the lead on this was the select board, or was stated as the select board or their designated agents? Because I think it's really, to me anyway, it's a little unclear as exactly what this is and who would be best to coordinate it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, whoever it is will decide kind of where they want to go with it. But often we hear there needs to be more education about affordable housing. Right, we hear that all the time. So it's satisfying that.
Right. On Nantucket, my first-hand experience on Nantucket, this is a role that's played by the nonprofit, who has staff and who can, who runs events, and they just do that. So if there's some entity that we could contract with to do that for us, then then we could work with them.
Okay, so you want me to put the select board here?
No. I think it should be an advisory committee of housing of representatives from the various housing groups and any other interested entities. If the select board wants to have someone there, fine. But that the charge is to come up with the program that's listed here on page 52.
Mhm.
And if it can't be, I understand where it couldn't be done by town staff, but, we could let a contract with somebody who's qualified to do it.
I think there's the doing and then there's the leading, right? I think the doing is not going to be the committees, of course, that are actually going to do that. But the leading really should be a group that has voting authority, so different from town staff, and have some level of ability to advocate and to craft messages, or, like not craft messages, but to, direct at that level, in my opinion. Okay, so that's it for me. That was the last one, and that was a good discussion and generated some changes to the document.
Okay,
So,
thanks.
okay.
Yeah, thanks so much, Liz. It's a really great work. It's really come together, and I can see that there's been a lot of discussions to reach this on, some of the hot button points where things that people express concern about. They're still in here. And we're keeping hope alive, and for things like MBTA community zoning, we can't undo state law, but we can at least find language that commits us to do the best we can. So
Great.
I'm very optimistic about this.
Yes, excellent. All right,
All right.
thanks, everybody. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Thanks a lot, Liz.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Stop share. Okay. Very good. So what's left for us is to just figure out mechanically, would we want to schedule, just to give ourselves one last opportunity. The revised document's going to be issued this Friday. There's the planning board meets next Tuesday. There's only one business day in between those two dates. And that's why the steering committee's meeting on Monday at 2 p.m. It's a Zoom call. I'm not thinking it's going to last very long, but it will be the opportunity where that group can make a formal recommendation to the planning board. And since well, Mike and I will be there anyway because we're on the steering committee. I don't know if it's possible for us to get a quorum of the committee for a 2 o'clock Zoom call that hopefully won't last very long. But that would be the only way we could take a vote. That we could, I think, not take a vote tonight. Is to schedule a meeting on Monday. Any thoughts on what we should do?
Keith, what time is the meeting on Tuesday?
2 o'clock. I
It's
believe.
in the evening.
Oh.
Well, if it's in
You mean
the,
you mean the planning board's meeting?
yeah, the planning board
Oh,
meeting,
Yeah.
planning board. Yeah, evening, 7 o'clock.
on the 13th, right?
On Tuesday, the 13th, the planning board, yeah.
Well, could we just, without being presumptuous, I would think that approval of this by the trust would be a 2-minute affair.
Yeah.
Could we just schedule a meeting sometime late in the afternoon or something on that Tuesday? I think it would be good if we had approved it and could so report when we get to the planning board.
Yeah, I guess begging the question is, well, when are you all available?
Well, literally, this is a 10-minute meeting.
Right.
So
I
6:30.
mean, I'm available.
6:30,
I'm available 6:30 when?
just before the planning board, is that?
No,
what
I'm
you're-
not gonna do that.
Okay.
No, I'd rather take a vote right now. I'm not gonna take a vote half an hour before a meeting.
Why
on
not?
Something that's important.
So then the other option that you keep suggesting, it sounds like concurrent with this housing production Plan Steering Committee.
Well, I know
Monday.
that the staff will be there. I can't vouch for the team being at any other meeting except 2:00 on Monday.
Well, I think it
So
would be,
is it that people, is that Linda, you're not available on Monday, or?
No, I could do it. I don't totally understand what the issue is here, but that's okay.
Well, we're just trying to get a meeting scheduled and to do it. I think it's discourteous of the planning board to not give them 24 hours advance notice of if we can meet on Monday so that they know prior to their Tuesday meeting that we've taken a vote. Otherwise, I don't.
Yeah, I can do that. That's fine.
So Carrie, or is there?
I'm on vacation next week.
Okay, so we have to take our vote now.
Oh, there's a lot of pieces that are not, and some key pieces that were brought up that are not, that we haven't seen.
Right. Yeah, I would prefer to take the vote after I've read it. And I would prefer that I have the opportunity to review with the team to ask and answer any questions that may come up. And we can't do that at 6:30 before 7:00 meeting on Tuesday. I think we have to do that
all right, well, let's meet on Monday then.
Monday.
We just
Yeah.
won't have Carrie there. That's just,
Yeah.
you know, the breaks.
So,
Unless, of course, you want to come back from your vacation. to meet.
Well, I'll be at
Joe,
I'll be at Logan Airport, and I think it'll be pretty loud, so.
right. Well, let's do, I think we really do need to do 2:00 on Monday, and
Just make sure Rich knows, yeah.
yes, yeah,
I have on my calendar an HHP meeting on Monday.
that's right, at 2:00.
Yeah.
Right, so what I'm saying is we would have a joint meeting with them.
Oh, a joint
My
meeting.
proposal was it'd be a joint meeting because I know that the team is going to be at that 2:00 meeting. We can get on the same Zoom call.
Okay,
We
that's
can
fine.
we can convene, they take their vote and we'll take our vote, and Mike and I can vote twice because we're on two of the committees. So, all right, so we'll do that then. And thanks for your patience on getting through this. And I would say I'm a lot more optimistic after last night's select board meeting, and just knowing that all the work that's been taking place in the last couple of weeks to finalize this document.
I was on a meeting earlier today with Matt and Carrie for that matter, and Matt indicated that he thought the vote on the 19th would be pro forma.
Yeah.
So,
That's great. That's what we've been working for. So very good. So next item is to debrief on the January 19th special town meeting. The select board unanimously voted last night to recommend favorable action on the 4 articles that we supported. Articles 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the transferring the CPC's article to transfer $1 million and change from Christopher Heights town meeting appropriation back into their community housing trust. There will lie in wait so that the annual town meeting can transfer it out to the trust. And that's great. Articles 2 and 3. Hello, Rich.
Zoom says my account wasn't paid for, but I
Oh,
found it on
wow.
the card, so
Oh, my
I don't
goodness. Wow. And my free account, using my free account here because it's the town's account for this meeting. So welcome. We just had a quick meeting with Liz Rust and discussed with her which of the just that we were clear on which of the goals the trust was to be in charge of. And on the one for public relations, I'm not sure where that ended up. I'm hoping that it's with the staff or consultant can do it, and I guess we and others can help oversee that. But we agreed to meet to take a vote on the housing production plan on Monday at 2 o'clock on Zoom as part of a joint meeting of the housing production plan steering committee. I'm hoping that you'd be able to make a short Zoom call at that hour. The feeling was that since the document that's coming out this Friday will contain, numerous changes from the document we see today, we just want to take a vote after we've seen the revised and final document. So that would be at 2 o'clock on Monday on Zoom, hopefully a very quick meeting.
That's fine.
Great, thanks. And now we're just debriefing on the special town meeting in January, where last night the select board voted to recommend favorable action on the CPC's article, both of our home rule petitions. I'm sorry, Article 1, actually, that's the bylaw, isn't it? Is the fossil fuel bylaw, and Article 4 is the CPC's article. So, but only Articles 1 and 4, the CPC and the fossil fuel, are on the consent calendar. That the moderator, it was reported, felt that our 2 home rule petitions were substantially changed from how they were originally adopted 4 years ago. That there should be that they should not be on the consent agenda, but that we make a presentation and have debate. So that's the way that will proceed. And for that discussion, I thought it would be helpful for us to just be on the same page about what the presentation, what edits we might want to make to the presentation that had been was made on November 28th for the select board, because we did get, can you see this?
Yeah.
Page? Okay. There. We did get some feedback. There was a question from Henry Dane about what does it mean to be 150% of AMI. What did that look like? And as we were going through it, feedback that I got was that we should also, or it's a question that Linda had, was, well, what is the Concord, when we talk about what the Concord median is, what's that number? And Liz was able to share with us the Concord median income is 160,000 and change. The closest percentile to go to was 115% of AMI. So we're using those numbers here. So that a family of 4, the income limit for a Concord median is 161,000 a year. And at 150% of AMI, which would be the upper limit of what a planned residential development, PRD, would have, the family of 4 the income limit is 210,000. Now, of course, it's only the 80% figures, that it's the 80% of AMI that counts on the subsidized housing inventory if it's an ownership unit. And if it's a rental and you've got 25% of the rental units at deed restricted at 80%, then the rest can count, then all of the rental units can count. And if it's, for example, the Junction, let's take the example of whatever comes next on Junction Village, where the statute says it has to be affordable as determined by the CHDC. Apparently the CHDC was was looking at a menu of, some of the units would be 80%, and some at higher levels, up to perhaps 150%. But in any event, this slide is meant to answer the question of what are the income limits on the 150% of AMI that we're looking to.
So Keith, if I may,
Yeah.
This is still all very complicated for the general public, and I guess Elizabeth sent to all of us on December 1st a very important email that which really I think spoke to Henry's question more directly, and she outlines that a household of 4 at 150% AMI earns 210, 300, as this shows. At that income level, a household at this income level could afford a house that costs approximately $860K. So if you're pricing a house to be affordable to 150% AMI, a medium income household in Concord could not afford it. And she goes on to say you would need to price a home at 110 to 115% AMI to be affordable to a median income household.
Yeah, there are good calculations in the HPP on that. And I was thinking that that's one thing we ought to add, because we know now the median sale price is what, $1.4 million. The other two things I thought we needed to do for this, because we're going to have a whole lot of people who are there for the school vote who probably aren't into affordable housing. So I think we need to explain somewhere that we're falling below SHI and what that means, or we can just call it 10%.
Yeah.
And I think we want to point out that trying to read my own notes here. We want to point out that we will fall short there. And the other thing I think we should point out is that we're doing this because we are sensitive to the property tax and trying to find a different source. Because I think those things are not generally understood by people who don't follow affordable housing.
Right. Those are two great points. Those are three great points that we have. Number one is to either, I'd say probably add another, after showing this slide, go to a second slide that then translates the income categories to what that buys you for a house price. So I'll put together some draft slides that address that.
My take on this is that the moderator has given us a very, I think, an indirect clue as to what is perhaps the best approach here, and that is that rather than go over the whole scenario, the point I think is that the town has approved this home rule petition before, and there needed to be a few changes made to it, but I don't think it's going to be productive for us to go through the whole affordable housing story, but rather to treat this pro formally. The town's done this before. We needed to make a few changes in this to make, for the reasons we can articulate, and not try to bury it with a lot of detail.
I actually agree with that, because my original thought coming into today's meeting was to eliminate, believe it or not, slides 9 and 10 for that reason. So we stayed on track just with the article.
Yeah, that's great, and that's and
hold these in abeyance.
Yeah, we can be there, but
right. In terms of, I mean, we will take yes for an answer, so that if we can get a simple yes by saying this, this body approved it in 2019. We've been refiling it routinely for a couple of sessions since then. In this one, we're making specific changes. It was 600,000, now it's $1 million. So that's actually a good thing because house prices are gone up. sale prices have gone up and so we want to increase the
Level of
the-
exemption, right?
Yep, there, we want to increase the amount of that is not subject to a payment. That's a good thing. And the other is for the building permits for both of them, it's that it's 150% of AMI. Explain what that is. I would think we probably need to do, I would submit we probably need to do this slide that we're looking at and another slide that translates that to home, what a purchase price is. And then the third change is just is that it would take effect upon approval by town meeting without a ballot question. And that's because the statewide bill is doing that, and and if it takes another year, then you gotta fund us locally for another year. So
I really believe less is more here.
yeah, okay,
Primary purpose of these home rule petitions was to give the town a continuous stream of income so that it could act quickly when affordable housing opportunities arose.
Right.
That's still the purpose of these two. And I think we should just stick with that and then explain why we made the necessary, why we
Right.
made the changes that we proposed. And they're all very straightforward.
right.
I
The
can't
continuous stream so that the property taxpayers who will be footing the bill for Article 5, the schools, the school, but need not be, but would not be asked to fund our two articles because we're looking at other payers.
I think that as an alternative to property taxes is going to be especially important at the special town meeting, given the impact that the middle school project will have on the property tax base.
Right.
And
Yep.
we have to remember who our audience is. There, the place is going to be packed with
Right.
parents of school children. So they're going to want to get to their issue.
Right. Yeah, I think that I think that that's an excellent way. I will take a cut at redoing the presentation along the lines that we've discussed and get those out later this week. It will be helpful to have these slides in abeyance if questions come up. If someone stands up and says, well, why do you need to have any money at all? Someone may ask that, in which case, or how much money have you got before and what did you do with it? So that all of that information is there. The slide deck, and I
Important
guess
to have those facts available if questions are asked, so we can respond.
Right. I guess the question would be if whether it's helpful or not. Well, this slide deck is already, the slide deck we presented on the 28th of November is out there in the ether. If someone wants to go watch it's not the slide deck for the articles heard by the select board are not posted at the website. The ones that were heard by the finance committee are, because I went looking for them today, but I think that so if someone wants to look for these slides, this information, that's there. But I think what we want, those are out there somewhere. But the presentation we put together will be, sounds like we probably have like maybe 3 slides that covers this information. So, all right, excellent points. Any other comments on that? I feel good about redoing it along the lines that we just discussed.
I certainly agree. We don't want to get down into the weeds about affordability, but I think, and you don't even need a slide, you can just say it. I think that the town is not going to meet its target for affordable housing. You don't have to go into the details, but
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of people there that may know something about 40B, but don't really know much about what we've done.
Right.
You can just
Yeah. All right, very good. include that as well.
I just want to be a little contrary here. These articles are important to the town, whether or not we are in compliance with our 10%. So even if we were above the 10%, we would still want these funds available so that we could improve our affordable housing stock. And act as quickly as we can. So I think it's a little more than just making sure we can get to 10%.
I certainly defer to people who are now or have been on the select board. But I just think there are going to be a lot of people there that night that don't know very much about this. But Michael, I defer to you. And I certainly agree. Yeah, we want to stop at 10%.
There's no need to defer to me.
But it is a very straightforward message to the general public when you say it's important to increase our affordable housing stock. I mean, that's a clean declarative statement.
Right.
People can get a hold of, I think.
Right. That's why we're going for this for this money at all. That's why we're doing it.
Right.
So, all right, well, I will take a stab at a revamped, streamlined slide deck and get that out to you by week's end. And
we've got time on this, or not, to get this.
Yeah, the holidays will be, before we know it, it'll be 1st of January. So, but all right, very good, thanks. Next item is the annual town meeting, where where at the annual town meeting preview, there were articles that were sufficient to add up to the 2.04 million that we've asked be transferred into the trust, and that's at April's town meeting, from monies the town has already appropriated for Christopher Heights at Junction Village. And again, that's the same theme. Come to those voters. We're not asking, it's not levy sensitive. What we're asking for this year, it's not from free cash, it's from money that's already been appropriated in prior years. And we're looking that it be kept in the column for affordable housing. And I got to say, I was just very, very pleased how this, the CPC thought of us, and without us asking for the funds. I had one conversation with someone in the know who says, well, is the trust going to apply for the grant, apply for funding, because CPC doesn't, fund things unless you give a detailed application. And I said, no, they're giving, they're proposing it go to the trust. They, as far as I can see, that we're all on the same page through this housing production plan process of what are we going to be spending the money on. And in fact, some of the slides in this deck are going to be easily kept for, this is what we've been spending the money on up till now, the $2 million we have $1 million left over. And then what are we going to be spending additional money on? Well, it's what's in the housing production plan. Have not attempted and would not to, what dollar amounts might be associated with particular ones, but we'd be talking in the millions of dollars. And there's a plan that we will have to look at that will help us guide what the money will be spent on. The trust, the select board, it seems to me, will need to take a vote at some point to put the articles in the warrant, because they didn't do that last night. Is town council Carrie drafting an article or articles, and then the select board will take a vote prior to the close. Would they take the vote prior to, well, December 16th is the deadline for articles to be sent in, so.
But the warrant closes on the 4th of January, and I think we have a meeting scheduled for that night.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we draft all of the articles internally and consult with council when we need to.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about the select board taking a vote to put these articles on the warrant. That will just
No.
happen at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Any other questions about the funding article? Because there's one other town meeting article that we let's see, are we approaching? It's 2 minutes before 7, but when time permits, and I'd suggested a further meeting, we could review the planning board's proposal, which had been circulated to us a while ago for proposing to amend affordable housing requirements in section 4-2-3-2 combined business residents. And it reads similarly to what, that there would be a fraction of monies if an affordable unit didn't add up to a whole unit, the monies would go into the trust fund. But I'd suggest for time that we discuss that at another meeting.
Okay.
So, right. Let me ask if there's any public comment.
Nope.
I think there is. All right. So our next meeting, I would suggest that we schedule 2 of them. The short one next Monday, the 12th, at 2 p.m. to adopt the housing production plan, and then another meeting upon when after Carrie's back from vacation. So I don't know what week that might be. Sometime in February, Carrie. Or...
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, but probably one more meeting in December, and we could also got a notice today that 2022 annual reports for the annual town report are due in early January. So, is there a volunteer who would like to draft our report? I've got last year's report, and I'm happy to try to sketch, do an outline, at least for starters, of things we want to have in the report. Maybe that would be a topic we could discuss at our next meeting. What subject matter do we want to have in the report? So, okay. So I think we're at the hour. Can we make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Rich. Let's do a roll call vote. Linda.
Thank you. Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
Carrie.
Aye.
And Keith. Aye. All right. Thanks very much. And thanks for your time today. And glad we'll be able to get this all done.
Thank you, Keith.
Take
Bye.
care.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Keith.
Bye now.